I'm on the hunt for the perfect at-home manicure, something that's easy, looks salon quality, and actually lasts at least a week. And honestly, nothing has really worked for me so far. But today, that might change, because we're talking about Maniko, the nail brand that literally every German influencer seems to love and talk about at the moment. I've seen so many glowing reviews, but most of them seem to be gifted or sponsored. So I thought, okay, I'm just gonna order it myself and see what it's actually like. No sponsorship, no PR, just my honest thoughts. So let's see if it's really worth the hype. Before I'm going to show you the product, I just wanted to introduce Maniko as a brand, as I like to do in these kinds of review videos. Maniko is a German brand and was founded in Berlin in 2019. So it is quite a young brand, I would say. It's like, okay, 7 years, but yeah, relatively new brand, but it's everywhere, so they did something really right. They sell printed liquid UV polish that can simply be applied by sticking it on. I've seen so many brands popping up left and right selling these UV polish strips, and I have to say I'm really intrigued because I'm not very good at applying nail polish. I don't know what it is, I've never been good at it, and I probably won't be because I've been trying for over 10 years and so far my nails don't look great when I apply nail polish myself. So yeah, these strips are very convenient to me. Maniko is probably the brand I've seen the most often because, as I said, a lot of German influencers were like doing reviews or videos about them. So I thought, well, let's give this one a try. Maniko says their nail strips can last up to 3 weeks without chipping or cracking. We'll see about that. I mean, that would be genius if that were possible. They also say that their nail strips are suitable for every type of nail, even if you have short and brittle nails. And something that's also really interesting about the brand is they say they have a 100% money back return policy. So if you're not happy with the products, you can return them within 45 days and you will just get your money back. It sounds great. Don't know if that really works, but it sounds great. So it would be very low risk. But hopefully I won't want to give my products back because I love them. I ordered Maniko's starter set, which had this lovely little leaflet inside with instructions. It also contained a UV lamp, which is needed to harden the nail strips once you've applied them. The lamp also came with a cable, but please be aware you will need a USB plug for it because, well, the cable needs a USB plug. So if you don't have one, you need to get one because otherwise you can't use the lamp. I ordered the starter set with 3 packs of UV gel strips. You can freely choose the colours. I got mahogany, which is a very dark brown shade. I also got the colour Wine Vibes, which is more of a burgundy shade, and I got the colour Statement, which is a very bright red. They don't just sell plain nail polish strips. They also have some with a design on them, and they also sell strips for pedicures, although the choice is a bit more limited in that department. You can also get the starter set with just 1 pack of nail strips or 6 if you're feeling adventurous. The set that I bought was reduced to 50 euros. To be honest, the price of the starter set seems to always be reduced in some capacity. In addition to that, I also bought the UV top coat Ultra Glossy for 12 euro because I was just hoping it will make the nails last longer. So let's see if that works. And the starter set also came with the magic remover pen, which you will need to remove the nail polish strips later on. And that is everything that I bought. If you buy one of their nail strip sets, they cost around 16 euro, which to me is a steep price, but if they are any good, it's way less expensive than going to the nail salon. You can also buy a refill set with either 3 or 5 strips of your choosing. That way you'll get a better price, just a little bit of a discount there. Each pack contains 20 strips in 8 different widths for every nail shape. If you don't have very long nails, you can split the strips in the middle and use them for a second nail. This will give you either 2 or 4 manicures if you split the strips in the middle from each pack. For very wide nails, Maniko says that you can carefully stretch the strips until they fit. I have very wide nails, so I am going to have to make use of that. Alrighty, now let's apply the nail strips and see how that works. It is best to do your manicure indoors and to avoid direct sunlight because the natural UV light outside can actually cause your UV gel strips to harden within seconds. That's basically what the lamp is for. The lamp is using UV light to harden your nail strips, and if you're outdoors in direct sunlight, it can actually cause the nail strips to harden before you have the chance of applying all of them. So Stay indoors for your manicure, try to avoid direct sunlight, and you're good to go. Step number 1 is removing your cuticles and cleansing your nails. When I started doing this step, I wasn't aware that Maniko provided like a wooden tool to push back your cuticles. It was inside of the nail strips package, which I didn't realize, so I did all of the cuticle work beforehand with my own tool. But to be honest, I preferred mine. Mine is made from metal and it worked a lot better than the wooden one. So if you have your own cuticle pusher, I would probably stick to that because the wooden one just didn't do it for me. And after removing the thin layer of cuticle on my nail beds, I used nail polish remover to strip my nails from their natural oils. But Maniko, which I again didn't see until I was done with it, Maniko has an alcohol pad inside of their nail polish strip packaging, so you don't actually need an extra nail polish remover. I just didn't know that the alcohol pad was included. My mistake, you don't need an extra product. Next up, I chose the color that I wanted to apply to my nails, and I ended up choosing Wine Vibes, which is the deep burgundy. Here you can see me unboxing the nail strips, and I thought it only included the nail strips, but as you will see, there is a lot of other things inside of this box. The alcohol pads, as I mentioned, and the wooden like cuticle pushy thing. And it also came with a little nail file, which I didn't expect. There was also this sheet where you could, see all of the sizes of the nail strips. Don't really know what that was for, to be honest. And the last thing I unboxed were actually the nail strips. Here you can see me trying out the alcohol pad after I've, already cleansed my nails with my nail polish remover. But I thought, just give that one a try as well. So I did that in the hopes that my nails were now very oil free. Now let's have a look at the nail strips. I cut the packaging open with scissors, and as I said before, each pack contains 20 strips in 8 different widths. So hopefully we will find a strip for each nail. Step number 2 is choosing the right size. So basically you're just holding the UV gel strips over your nail and you just try to choose the right size from the 8 different widths. If you're unsure, Maniko recommends choosing the smaller size because you can carefully try to stretch the strips to fit your nail shape perfectly. I started out with my thumb and I chose the biggest strip for it. With this one, I was actually a bit scared to stretch it because I didn't want to rip it. But when I did my second thumb, I did try to stretch the nail strip a little bit. Not enough, to be honest. It could have done with being stretched a bit more, but I think with a little bit of practice I can make it fit my thumb almost perfectly, and that is good enough for me. Step number 3 is actually sticking on the UV gel strip onto your nail. So basically once you've found the right size, you stick the UV gel strip onto your nail and you smooth it down. Do not stick the strip onto your cuticles. Just like with every normal nail polish, you're also not supposed to paint over your cuticles. I think it has to do with the nail polish or the nail strip lasting longer. Try to go as close to the cuticle as you can. I think I didn't do a great job with that. I could have gone closer because it just looks better when it's growing out. You can have the nail polish on or the nail strip on for longer if you're closer to your cuticle. So that is something I need to improve on the next time I apply these strips. You just need to stick it on, smooth it out, press it on, and you're ready for the next step, which would be cutting and folding the nail strip. Please ignore my ginormous pair of scissors that I used to cut off the excess nail strip. I didn't have a nail scissors, so I had to just use this one. So I'm so sorry, it looks ridiculous. Please use something smaller because this was a pain and it didn't work very well. So use a nail scissors if you have one, and if you don't, get one, because that will make your life so much easier. It is very important not to cut too close to the edge of the nail because you want to be able to fold the end of the nail strip under the tip of your nail so that the entire nail edge is covered. Truth to be told, I found the folding over of the nail strip so difficult. It just didn't stay in place, and I don't know if maybe it was too long when I tried to fold it over or whatever, but it just folded up again and it didn't stay in place. So I was a bit confused, and that is also why I decided to before filing off the excess of the strip, which would have been step number 5, I actually cured the nail strip under the lamp before doing the filing, which Maniko says that you can do that. You can file after curing the nail strips, but the official instructions is cutting and folding, then filing off the excess, and then curing it under the UV lamp. But yeah, I just did it differently, and Maniko also said if you have difficulties with filing, you can also harden the shortened strips first and then file them down. But yeah, you can do it differently. This was just what I did. After finishing cutting and folding my thumb, I continued doing all of my other nails on my left hand so I could simultaneously just put them under the lamp. Next, I plugged in my UV lamp and I placed my index, middle, ring and little finger in the middle under the UV lamp and switched it on. I did have to rearrange my middle finger because it was just a bit too long. I had to kind of bend it a little bit so it fit under the lamp with my other fingers. But apart from that, it was very straightforward. The lamp switches off automatically, so once it switches off, you know 1 minute is over and you can do your thumb. The next thing I did was filing my nails. I started off with the nail file that Maniko provided, but to be honest, it didn't work for me. It was not a very good nail file, so I switched to my own metal one and that worked a lot better. So what I did was I very carefully filed underneath of my nail and tried to get rid of any excess folded strip underneath of my nail. You're supposed to always file in one direction so that the strip is not damaged or frayed, and Maniko says that you're never supposed to file the strips vertically in an up and down movement. You could be done here, but I also wanted to try the top coat, so I applied a thin layer of that onto my nails and I cured it under the lamp for another minute. And what can I say? I really like the results. It's very glossy, very shiny, very pretty. I liked it, so I was glad I applied it, but you don't have to if you don't want to. And these are my final nails. I am obsessed with the colour. I think it's so pretty, so elegant. And now I'm crossing my fingers that these nails will actually last at least a week. On day 1, 2 and 3, my nails actually looked really good. I was very happy with them and very positively surprised. I had no cracks and the nails were very hard, so I was feeling optimistic. But unfortunately on day 4, I had like a little tiny, let's call it chip. I don't really know what happened, but there was this tiny chip on my index finger on my left hand. It just appeared. I can't really say what exactly caused it, but it wasn't too noticeable. So I was still feeling positive. I kind of just filed it down a tiny bit, but it really wasn't too noticeable. On day 5, the nails looked really good. No more chips happening. They were a bit more scratched up, which you can't really see on the video, but they were. But that was fine by me. I didn't expect them to look perfect throughout this wear test, so a few scratches here and there weren't something I was concerned with. But unfortunately, on day 6, I got my first real chip and I was sad. I was really gutted about it. Again, I can't tell you what happened. I was out and about, and when I came back in the afternoon, the chip was just there. I really can't tell you what I did. I didn't think I did anything that caused it, but I must have. So yes, they obviously didn't last 3 weeks for me. And truth to be told, I wasn't expecting them to last 3 weeks, but I would have hoped to just have 1 week. Maybe I just got unlucky, I don't know. But I was a bit disappointed at that point. On day 7, nothing really changed. My nails looked exactly the same as they did on day 6, so that is good, no more chips. Day 8 was mostly the same, but I started noticing the nails growing out, which I really don't like the look of. I don't like when my nails look grown out. I feel like it's not too bad on the video, but I could feel it, I could see it. So I started thinking about removing the nails, but I wanted to give it a couple more days just to see if the nails would chip anymore. On day 9, my nails look pretty much the same, to be honest. Nothing happened. You can't really see any of the scratches on the video, but I promise you there were scratches. If I hadn't applied the top coat beforehand, I would have probably applied like a coat of top coat on day 5 or 6, and I think that would have smoothed out the scratches. So I might do that the next time I do my nails. Day 10 was the last day with my Maniko nails. I just didn't feel comfortable wearing them any longer because of the grown out look, because of the chip, and also because of the scratching. I just really don't like the look of grown out nails, so they had to go. To be honest, I didn't expect to wear the nail strips for 3 weeks. More like 2 or 1.5, and well, 10 days is 1.5 weeks, so we're quite spot on. I might be able to stretch it to 2 weeks if I apply the nail strips a bit closer to my cuticles, but 1.5 weeks is so much longer than I had with any other nail polish brand, so I'm not complaining. I think 10 days is a great amount of time. I also wanted to quickly show you the removal process. For the removal, you will need Maniko's Magic Remover Pen, and also the wooden stick that came with the nail strips. You might also need some cotton pads and additional nail polish. I personally had to use some because I had some glue left on my nails. And what you also need is enough time and a little bit of patience, because this is not a quick process. It's also not a really long one, but you do need a little bit of time to do this. Before using the remover pen, you have to click on the back of the pen quite a few times. Like, I believe it was 30 times for me, because that will press out the fluid that you need to remove the nail strips. Once you've achieved that, step number 1 is carefully lifting the strip on one side. So to do that, you brush the Maniko Remover Serum, which is in the pen, over the edge of the strips. After doing that, you use the wooden stick or a different manicure tool that you have to carefully lift one side of the strip. Make sure to use a flat angle to avoid using too much leverage. Step number 2 is slowly peeling off the strips. You can either use the remover pen directly, which is what I did, or you can soak the wooden stick in the remover serum and use the soaked stick to loosen the glue layer between the nail and the strips. Maniko says you should be working from one side to the other and not in the direction of growth. I took my time with the removing process. I switched between the pen and then the wooden spoolie and the pen and the wooden spoolie, and slowly but surely the nail actually lifted off. Step number 3 is removing adhesive residue. If you still have glue left on your nails, which I did, you can just simply soak a cotton pad with acetone-free nail polish remover, and you just swipe it over your nail and the remains should come off very easily. At least they did for me. And that's it. You're done with the removal and your nails are all natural again. Okay guys, so I do have some final thoughts on the nail products from Maniko, so let's get into that. First of all, I think they have a great selection of colours and designs. I don't personally like wearing nail designs, but they do have a great selection if you do. And I think they also have beautiful colours, so that is a big plus for me. The application, I would say, is easy enough. It definitely didn't take just minutes for me. Probably more like an hour, but that might be my inexperience. I don't know. I think you can definitely speed up the process. But yeah, it doesn't just take minutes. I would say probably half an hour if you're experienced. One thing that's really great about Maniko is there's no drying time. So once you put your nails under the lamp and they were dried for 1 minute, they're really hard and you don't get any indentations. I've got that with previous nail polishes, even UV polishes. I did get indentations and the gel just wasn't hard, but these are rock solid. So you can just do your manicure and you're good to go. So that's great. I do have to practice stretching the nails. I have very wide nails. So as you've seen in the video, when I applied the gel strips, they didn't quite fit my big thumb. So I need to try stretching it. I was a bit scared to do that because I didn't want to rip them. I mean, it's not a huge thing. If you have slimmer nails, I think Maniko is a great brand for you. But even with my wider nails, I think I can make it work. I was a tiny bit disappointed that one nail cracked on day 6. I don't know, maybe it was bad luck. I still don't know what happened, to be honest. The other nails lasted really well. I was very hands-on with them. I was doing the washing up, I was doing the cleaning, I was doing lifting, shopping, I don't know, whatever you do with your nails. I wasn't precious about them. So yeah, don't know, maybe it was bad luck, but they seem to last quite well. Over the course of the 10 days, I wore the nail polish. The nails did dull a bit because they got scratched, but I think you can reapply the top coat and then they look better again, or they look more shiny again. So that would be a solution. I didn't do that because I did apply the top coat when I did my nails, but I guess you could do that like on day 4 or 5 or 6 if you wanted to wear your nails for a longer period of time, and they would look nice and glossy again. The nail strips added a certain thickness to my nails, which was nice because that made them very sturdy. No nails broke off, even though they were quite long. I don't usually wear my nails that long. I usually like to have them a little bit shorter, and well, they fared very fine. Nothing broke off, so I was very happy about that. Maniko says you can wear your nail strips for 3 weeks roughly. I would probably not do that. I feel like I have quite fast growing nails, so my limit would probably 1.5 weeks, because otherwise they do look quite grown out, and I personally don't like the look of that. But I mean, if you have slower growing nails, you could probably wear them for longer even. Don't know if you can stretch it to 3 weeks, to be honest, but yeah, maybe you can. I can't. I was positively surprised how easy the nails removed after wearing them. I think I took like half an hour, and as I said, I've never done it before, so I was quite inexperienced. You could probably be even faster maybe, but I think half an hour is okay. My natural nails also look really good after I got rid of the nail strips. They were not brittle, they didn't feel thin or like weakened, so that's great. I don't really know if that would change if I were to wear Maniko nails like for weeks and weeks. I just had them on for 1.5 weeks, and I also want to give them some air to breathe after having the nail polish on. I will probably wait 1 to 2 weeks before reapplying a new set of nail polish strips. That's just how I do it. I like my natural nails, so I don't feel the need to always wear nail polish on them. But yeah, that's why I can't really say if your nails are going to weaken over time if you wear your nail polish strips like for weeks and months at a time. All in all, I have to say I'm very happy with the nail polish strips. I think they're very easy. I think they look great. And I also like that they are less expensive than going to a nail salon. They don't just take minutes to apply, and they might not last 3 weeks. But I think I found my new at-home manicure solution. So yeah, I'm really happy, and I would definitely recommend the Maniko products. And that, my friends, concludes this review video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it helpful. I'm very happy because I found a great solution for myself. And I hope if any of you try this as well, that you are equally as happy as I am. If you want to continue watching some more of my content, I'm going to link a video up on the screen for you so you can check that out. And I think this video was long enough, so I'm going to sign off here. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, and we will see each other in my next video. Bye bye!